Good evening, Stevens Point. I'm McKenna Rentmeester.
And I'm Sarah Sartell.
This week in SPTV News, we look at Sri Lanka after multiple bombings, UWSP's annual Danstage performance is coming soon, and a former vice president announces his presidential campaign.
All this and more when we return.
Innocent lives of Sri Lanka citizens were taken on Easter Sunday when 9 suicide bombers targeted churches and luxury hotels across the country. There have been 359 confirmed deaths from the bombings, leaving the country in a state of emergency and devastation. Authorities confirm that a car bomb may still be at large in Colombo. The terrorist group ISIS has claimed responsibility for the coordination of the attacks. Officials in India confirmed that their view that this was indeed an attack from the radical Islam group. India relayed 3 warnings prior to Easter Sunday bombings, with the first warning on April 4th, another on April 20th, and the final one only an hour before the explosions began. The President and Prime Minister have stated that they did not receive these warnings, but other Sri Lankan officials have acknowledged that the country did receive the information about the possible attacks that have now happened and took many lives. Sri Lanka has an imposed curfew from 10 p.m. until 4 a.m. local time since the massacre. The country still remains open for tourism in this time. The Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, or SLTDA, confirms that all possible measures have been taken to ensure the safety and security of the tourists. Tourism is one of the biggest contributors to the local economy, and it depends on tourism.
On Monday, April 22nd, 2 Earth Day protesters glued themselves to the globe at the entrance of Universal Studios to send a message about climate change. The protesters came from a group called Extinction Rebellion Law, who identified themselves as those ones who glued themselves to the globe, posted a list of demands for NBC Universal to tell, quote, the whole truth about our climate and ecological emergency. The 2 protesters that attached themselves to the globe, as well as 2 others, have been detained by Los Angeles police and are facing felony vandalism charges.
The City of Stevens Point will be hosting an open house for plans related to the Targeted Area Master Plan project. The Redevelopment Authority of Stevens Point first began the plan early this year to better meet community needs in the downtown area and Division Street corridors. The city believes the plans will be the direct strategy for the evolution of the city in the coming years. The upcoming open house will be focused on the Division Street corridor, introducing draft concepts for the area and taking feedback from the community. The open house is on April 25th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. at the Stevens Point Parks and Recreational Gym. Light refreshments will be provided. If you would like more information about the event, please contact Michael Ostrowski.
The annual performance from UWSP's dance program, Danstage, will take place in the Studio Theater and the Noel Fine Arts Center. Danstage will be presented with arena seating, with audience seated on all sides to watch the dances unfold from multiple perspectives. The production features work by UWSP professors Michael Danstage, Jeannie Hill, and Joan Carlin, with a debut from Associate Lecturer Pamela Leduc.
For one, the setup for the theater this time is arena seating, which means audience on 4 sides, and it's in the Studio Theater, so there's a great variety in the works that audience will be seeing.
The matinee showing will take place on Sunday, May 5th at 2 p.m. with a pre-show talk with the choreographers in NFACT Room 221 at 1 p.m. All other performances will be held at 7:30 p.m. on May 3rd and May 4th, and May 8th through the 10th.
And I think that's what's fun about Danstage, is that we came in and established the storyline, and now we're getting into perfecting it and rehearsing what that is. We had to develop the material and perfect it rather than just coming in with the material and then perfecting it.
Tickets are on sale now at the information and ticket desk in the DUC or on the UWSP website. Tickets for adults are $23. Tickets for kids under 17 are $13 and only $11.25 with UWSP students with a student ID.
UWSP will be hosting a blood drive next week with extra incentive to donate. There is currently an extreme need for all blood types. To encourage donations, the Red Cross is offering various goodies to those who come and donate. On Tuesday, April 30th, all donors will receive a free Game of Thrones Bleed for the Throne poster and will also be entered in a drawing to win a full-size Iron Throne from the show. On Wednesday, May 1st, all donors will receive a $5 Amazon gift card and a free t-shirt. There will also be free food and beverages provided for all donors. Donations will be taken from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. each day. If you would like to donate, you may sign up on the Red Cross website. There will also be walk-ins accepted each day.
The Stevens Point Sculpture Park, located in central Wisconsin, is accepting submissions of the sculpture work for the annual 3-year outdoor sculpture exhibition. A local jury will choose pieces for display from August 2019 through August 2020. The deadline to apply is May 24th. The materials and scale of the sculpture are required to be appropriate for outdoor environmental locations, and the submission must be self-supporting because a foundation will not be provided. The delivery and installation of the submitted sculptures will be the artist's responsibilities. The selected submissions will receive $1,500 for 3-year loan of their work. To submit your work, go to the Stevens Point Sculpture Park and find Submissions tab. There you'll fill out an application form asking questions about your materials, maintenance of the piece, an artist statement, and more. The Sculpture Park is open Monday through Sunday from sunrise to sunset, and admission is always free.
The Office of Sustainability is hosting a recycled art competition this Friday at 7 p.m. A team of 6 members from each residence hall will compete to make a sculpture out of recycled materials in the NFAC courtyard. Wanchern Lee has more on the story.
Office of Sustainability is open to public and all UWSP students. I sat down to talk with Gabrielle to get more information.
We work to bring events and projects and different initiatives to campus in order to make us more sustainable.
Office of Sustainability hosting an event called Recycled Art Competition in the Art Center. She gives a short introduction of this event.
The Recycled Art Competition is happening tonight, Thursday the 25th, from 7 to 8. And each residence hall has a team of students, and they have 45 minutes to create a sculpture out of recycled art. And we will judge them, so first, second, and third place, and those teams get to pick from some sustainable prizes.
The purpose of this event is to improve individuals' teamwork ability and to improve students' awareness of environmental protection.
The event is really to get people together in a space where we can talk about sustainability, recycling especially, and bring awareness to recycling on campus.
Students can learn a lot of things from this event.
They can learn how to work together in a team, obviously, and they can also learn how to properly recycle and what kinds of items can be recycled on campus.
Finally, Gabrielle teaches people how to be sustainable in our daily life.
In our daily life, one of the biggest things is what we do with our waste. So if we have leftover food, to put that in the compost bin, or if we have cardboard and plastic, put it in the recycling, just making sure that they go to where they need to be.
For SPTV News, this is Wanzhong Li.
If you would like more information about events like these in the future, please contact the Office of Sustainability.
On Tuesday, April 23rd, the local restaurant South Point caught fire. According to J.B. Moody, the assistant chief of the Stevens Point Fire Department, there was visible smoke and flames when the crews arrived. Though the fire reportedly left minimal damage, the fire originated from the restaurant kitchen. The cause currently remains unknown. Moody says the cause of the fire is not suspicious. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. It is unknown when the restaurant will reopen.
While the weather has generally been improving over the last week, there are still causes for concern. The Wisconsin River has raised to a point for the flood warning to be issued. As of Wednesday afternoon, the stage for the river was at 18 feet, with the flood stage of this river being 17 feet. The current flooding is affecting seasonal homes along the river. The Stevens Point area is also predicted to be experiencing snow this weekend. On Friday, the lows will hit around 37 with a good chance of rain/snow. Mix up to 6 inches, though this has been confirmed on the recent warm weather. On Saturday, there will be a high of 38 with a 38% chance of snow. The accumulation is predicted to be around 1 to 3 inches. After Saturday, it will begin to warm up again with highs in the low 50s early this week and mid-50s later, with with showers predicted most days of the week.
UWSP has officially decided to move forward with plans to outsource jobs to help with the university's financial troubles. In an email sent to the student body, it was stated that the university has begun contract negotiations with Barnes & Nobles to take over operation of the university store. The goal of this contract is to reduce costs and generate revenue for the university. The email also mentioned plans to combine custodial services, residential living and facility services, and the university centers into one service, and contracting for dining services. The university is doing all this in an attempt to address an $8 million structural deficit for the school.
The UWSP Education Honor Society Kappa Delta Pi held a mock interview event on Wednesday night, which allowed students to work with principals from Central Wisconsin. Michael Wengrzyn has more on the story.
Kappa Delta Pi held a mock interviews event Wednesday night with the panel of principals from schools in Central Wisconsin speaking to students about what to expect during the interview process for a career as a teacher.
We start planning about 3 months ahead of time. We send out principals, whether it's new principals or old principals, reaching out to superintendents even sometimes. We try to have a good average between secondary, elementary, and middle school, and K through 12.
Students were able to ask many questions during the panel discussion. Afterwards, students had the opportunity to practice the preparation and work for a real-life interview with the principal from the panel.
By having the mock interviews, we're not only teaching students, but also teaching them how to be future educators while they're still in school, but also after school, and how it's so important to master what they're going to be doing with education, whether it's their grades, their interview process, or just building a resume.
Questions asked range from what principals look for in applicants to how a person should conduct themselves in an interview. Organization President Kaylee Shalinsky hopes that students were able to get a lot out of this event.
What I hoped that others get out of this event is just how to go into an interview and what you need to prepare for an interview, and what, like we were talking about in some of the questions, were what are the pet peeves of a principal looking for a candidate. So now I know, don't say ums, yes, sos when I'm in an interview.
Shalinsky would like to see the organization continue to put together events like mock interviews that will be beneficial for students to become future educators.
I hope the exec team next year also does that exact same thing, and they improve and learn and succeed as future educators themselves.
This is Michael Wengrzyn reporting for SPTV News.
To find out more about Kappa Delta Pi, visit their spin page or contact their president-elect, Mariah Bethel.
That's all the news stories we have for you tonight.
Coming up next, we have Joey Huebsch with SPTV Sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Welcome back. The Pointers baseball team lost both of their games of their doubleheader Wednesday against UW-Oshkosh. In Game 1, the Pointers started out fast, jumping out to a 5-0 lead after the top of the third inning. The Titans then got 2 runs back in the bottom of the third to cut the Pointers' lead down to 3 runs. The Titans then completely erased that deficit in the next inning with a 3-run home run. They then took their first lead of the game in the 6th inning with a solo home run, making it 6-5 Titans. The Pointers then tied it up at 6 in the top of the 7th inning with an RBI double from Peyton Nelson. The Titans then scored the game-winning run in the bottom of the 8th with an RBI single. In Game 2, the Pointers once again took an early lead with an RBI single from Weston Nelson in the top of the 2nd. Peyton Nelson then made it 2-0 Pointers with a home run in the top of the 6th. The Titans then responded back with 3 runs of their own in the bottom of the 6th inning to take a 3-2 lead. The Titans then held off the Pointers in the last 3 innings to secure the 3-2 victory. The Pointers are now 14-16 on the season. They will be back in action this weekend with 2 doubleheaders against UW Stout. Moving on now, the Pointers softball team swept their doubleheader Wednesday against UW Oshkosh. In Game 1, the Titans took the early lead in the top of the first inning with an RBI single. The Pointers responded quickly with a solo home run by Maddie Keandre to tie the game up at 1. The score stayed the same until the bottom of the 7th inning when Ashley Conan drove in Maddie Keandre on a fielder's choice for the game-winning run. In Game 2, the Titans once again jumped out to an early 1-0 lead in the top of the first inning. The Pointers then responded back with 2 runs in the bottom of the first to take a 2-1 lead heading into the second inning. The Titans then tied it up at 2 in the top of the second. The score stayed the same until the bottom of the third inning when the Pointers scored 5 runs to take a 7-2 lead. The Pointers then added on 3 more runs in the fourth inning to secure the 10-2 victory. They are now 17, 18, and 1 on the season. The Pointers will be back in action this weekend with a doubleheader against UW Stout. The 2019 NFL Draft kicks off tonight in Nashville, Tennessee with the first of 7 rounds. The Green Bay Packers currently have 10 picks in this year's draft, with 2 in the first round. The Milwaukee Brewers' struggles continued Wednesday afternoon against the St. Louis Cardinals, losing 5-2. The Brewers are now on a 4-game losing streak, their longest this season, and are now 13-13 on the season. The Brewers will look to regroup this weekend with a 3-game series against the New York Mets. The Milwaukee Bucks defeated the Detroit Pistons 127-104 in Game 4 Monday night to complete a 4-game series sweep of the Pistons. Giannis once again led the Bucks in scoring with a playoff career high of 41 points. The Bucks will now face the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference semifinals, starting with Game 1 on Sunday in Milwaukee. That's all the sports stories we have for you today. Up next is Ian Welsh with entertainment. I'm Joy Huebsch with SPTV Sports.
Serving a campus of 9,600 strong, we are the home of UWSP Television. We are SPTV. You can find us on Charter Channel 983, online, or on any of our social media sites.
Welcome back. Campus Activities and Student Engagement is hosting an event called Tie-Dye and Toppers. Have free pizza from Toppers and create your own Technicolor tie-dye t-shirt as well. The event is located in the DUC Encore Room Thursday, April 25th from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m.
We'll have tie-dyeing supplies, we'll have pizza, soda, and the students can enjoy all of those things. So when they get there, they'll be funneled to one half of the room, and they'll be given a free t-shirt, just a plain white t-shirt, and all the supplies that they'll need to tie-dye. So the ink, some rubber bands, stuff like that, and they'll get to design their own shirt. And then after they're done designing it, they'll get to take it home, and then they can eat some pizza while they wait and drink some soda before they go home.
The event is free with a student ID or $5 without, but supplies and pizza are limited, so be sure to get there early. If you would like more information about the event, you can check out the UWSP Master Calendar, Facebook, or Spin page for more details. Musician Reverend Doctor is coming to perform at UWSP, a musical project created by Black singer-songwriter Keith Rollins. They aim to create an upbeat, positive environment through their music. Their simple music ensemble of a guitar and loop pedal takes inspiration from soul, funk, R&B, and pop. They tour around the U.S., spreading messages of hope and love and creating positivity wherever their music is heard. Reverend Doctor will be performing at UWSP on Thursday, May 2nd at 8 p.m. Their performance is free with a student ID or $5 without, and is open to the general public. Last week, the Jefferson Boys and Girls Club of Stevens Point had a celebration of their children's film club. Austin Leapak has more.
Hidden away inside of Jefferson Elementary lays the Portage County's Boys and Girls Club, whose Filmmakers Club just had a festival where, well, let's have the kids explain it.
Filmmakers Club Film Festival. The festival will reveal the never-seen-before Filmmakers Club episodes.
The festival was a celebration of the Filmmakers Club, a part of the local Boys and Girls Club that the kids love for all sorts of reasons.
I always loved watching funny videos, so I really like films.
Probably being able to hang out with my friends and Mr. Aubin, and joking around while we do these.
I kind of don't have to be who I really am. I can just express myself and do stuff.
Favorite part is that Mr. Aubin, even if we're doing a video, he always lets us choose like if we have something that we think of, it doesn't always have to be what Mr. Aubin chose. It can be like we can choose one thing and he'll agree with it, and then it actually ends up in the video.
Atticus, how in the peanut butter jelly sandwich is named Samuel Chakotay? We have to say that!
Having this festival let the kids show off their skills for both the public and their parents. Of course, none of it would be possible without the founder of the Filmmakers Club, Aubin Sprecher.
You know, they do the acting, but I'm hoping that this will get them interested in making videos and skits on their own and just anything like that. This is almost like an academic time for them because they're learning how to speak and memorize lines. And so I think, you know, it's a great way to educate the kids, but have so much fun at the same time. So it's a win-win.
The memory of this film festival could lead to the next generation of filmmakers. For SPTV, this has been Austin Leapak.
To find out more, contact the Boys and Girls Club of Stevens Point, located at 941 Michigan Avenue. Comedian Jim Flanagan is coming to the university. A comedian from Chicago, Flanagan has become a staple for many top comedy clubs across the U.S. and has appeared on Chicago shows like the WGN Morning Show and Chicago's entertainment channel, The U, numerous times. His blend of personal storytelling and sharp punchlines allows him to be easily likable among crowds, and he is able to feed off that energy to enhance his performance. Flanagan will be performing at UWSP at 9 p.m. on Wednesday, May 1st. The show is free with a student ID or $5 without. That's all the entertainment stories we have for you this week. Coming up next is Michael Wengrzyn with Pointer Politics. I'm Ian Welsh with SPTV Entertainment.
So I hear they have like a sale at the DUC or whatever. Yeah. Some like type of coffee. like this now.
The recall committee in Merrill, Wisconsin has collected enough signatures in District 1 and 5 through 8. The members of the committee submitted the petitions in on Tuesday afternoon. The recall began due to a higher than expected city property tax increase. The Merrill residents who are prepared to run for each of the districts to challenge this are Becky Meyer in District 1, Shannon Collins in District 5, Mike Rick in District 6, Eric Dayton in District 7, and Steve Sabatke in District 8. LaDonna Fermanich, a member of the Merrill Recall Committee, told WAOW-TV that by us turning these in, it kind of marks a transition point from the recall committee to the people and to the potential candidates, because really what we've done initiating the recall is we've given the voice back to the people. No official candidates will be chosen for until the petitions are certified and the city council chooses a time and date for the recall election. Sources tell CNN former Vice President Joe Biden will officially enter the presidential race Thursday. This will dramatically change the already crowded Democratic field. Early this week, 5 candidates from that field faced questions about policy positions during a series of CNN town halls. And as CNN's Jeff Seleni reports, one made comments that Republicans are already seizing on.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And now he is. Sources telling CNN that Joe Biden intends to finally throw his hat into the 2020 presidential race on Thursday, in a decision that's grown less secretive and suspenseful by the day.
Joe Biden!
There's little doubt Biden will shake up the primary. The only question is for who. He'll be joining a campaign already in progress, which one aide said could be like jumping into a moving car. Biden has already been positioning himself for the fight ahead in a far different party than the one he sought to lead twice before.
I have the most progressive record of anybody running for the anybody who would run.
That claim is about to be tested. Biden continues to lead the Democratic field nationally with 27% support, according to a new Monmouth University poll. Bernie Sanders follows with 20%, and the rest of the field is in single digits among Democrats or Democratic-leaning independents. Biden has yet to weigh in on many issues driving this campaign and dividing candidates, as highlighted Monday night during a series of CNN town halls in New Hampshire. On voting rights for jailed felons, Sanders said yes.
But I do believe that even if they are in jail, they're paying their price to society, but that should not take away their inherent American right to participate in our democracy.
Senator Kamala Harris, a former prosecutor, unsure.
But people who are convicted in prison, like the Boston Marathon bomber, on death row, people who are convicted of sexual assault, they should be able to vote?
I think we should have that conversation.
And Mayor Pete Buttigieg?
While incarcerated?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Harris did pledge to act alone on guns.
Upon being elected, I will give the United States Congress 100 days to get their act together and have the courage to pass reasonable gun safety laws. And if they fail to do it, then I will take executive action.
It's Warren who's been driving much of the policy debate, like her proposal to relieve student debt.
It is now crushing them. So my proposal is to say this isn't right. What we have to do as a country is roll back that debt.
Not all Democrats see it as feasible.
And I wish I could staple a free college diploma under every one of your chairs. I do. Don't look. It's not there.
Joe Biden hasn't publicly commented on those topics or other hot-button Democratic issues. However, his views on those issues will certainly generate headlines in the coming days. One thing that won't be coming is an endorsement from former President Barack Obama. He plans to stay out of the race, with one aide saying, quote, he believes in a strong and spirited Democratic primary. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump spoke at the 2019 Prescription Drug Abuse and Heroin Summit on April 24th. The 2019 summit took place in Atlanta, Georgia over the course of April 22nd to the 25th. Trump spoke about the urgent need to end opioid abuse, but more specifically about how his political message will positively help those in need until the crisis is over by fighting addiction from every angle and even at the southern border. He also went into opioid prevention and how his administration will hold pharmaceutical companies for much of the United States drug problem. He then detoured into what he called rigging the system, which was directed at pharmaceutical companies when it comes to making drugs more affordable for overseas than domestically. The president joked about his comment being the most memorable part of his speech and conference. The summit is meant to be a place for solutions to be made and for stakeholders from federal to family members to come together. That's all the politics we have for you this week. Now back to McKenna and Sarah.
Thanks, Michael. That's all the news we have for you this week.
Until next time, Stevens Point, have a great night.